He's loaded on the trailer, as you saw. We are off for the MOT. A little bit nervous. Hopefully she passes. Done a few bits during the week, but she's all ready to go. So we're going to get her dropped off. Hopefully she passes. It's a Saturday morning, so I've got the rest of the weekend to go out and ride the bike, see what it's like with a new engine in, as long as it passes today. So fingers crossed, here we go. Okay, so we're back from the MOT. It's actually the next day. But for those of you who don't know, what we were doing yesterday, or the beginning of the video, loading old Yeller up, my BMW 1150 GS, high mileage, loading it up to take it for its MOT, just after I've put a new engine in it. New engine, there we go. So, it'd been off the road for a while, 6 months or so. There's a whole backstory to the bike, go back and have a look at it. But anyway, so yesterday was MOT day. I've got a sheet of paper here. Now, what I would like to do is pretend that it's failed and all, and then suddenly go, yes, it's passed. But actually, it failed. It actually failed. I can't believe it. I was devoed. But to be fair, what the guy pointed out, it should have failed. So I'll just show you quickly what it failed on. Let me see. Let's see. Right, so that's it there. I mean, you can probably, let me move you in a bit closer. Tip that up. And see. Now what's happening is it is down to the final drive again. But what I'll do is I'll show you up here on the old final drive. So this is the old final drive unit. This is the one that failed when I came back from the Sahara. This one actually broke. This is what caused me to leave the bike in Spain. So I was going to rebuild this anyway. It was on the next on the list was to take this apart and actually see what failed with it. But what's failed for me for the MOT is actually these bushings in here. The one on that side is loose, and that's what's failed the MOT. So the back wheel bolts onto there. This is driven by a shaft from the engine, from the gearbox. Sorry, it comes from the gearbox. The shaft comes from the gearbox. This turns, and that turns the back wheel. Now, what's not really picking up on the video on here, I wouldn't have thought. Can you hear? I mean, that is really stiff to turn. It's really notchy. That should spin smoothly and freely. And that is what broke on the way back. So what we'll do now is we're going to get this stripped down. We'll get to see eventually what failed on this. I'm going to replace, these are all right in here, but I am going to replace them anyway because we don't want those failing. And then we'll be able to get it retested, and then I'll be able to use it at last. It's insured, it's taxed, I just need to get this through the MOT. So that was a little disappointing yesterday, but it is what it is. We've got to do it. So let's crack on, let's get it stripped down. By the time we're done, there's not going to be a lot left to change on this bike anyway. The amount of stuff that's been replaced on there is unbelievable. I'll do a video another time and we'll go through everything that's been replaced on this bike. It's a bit like Trigger's broom now. Anyway, let's get this final drive stripped down. Let's crack on. Right, it's all apart and it's very easy to see what has gone wrong. So, the bolts that you saw me undo to start with were on the other side of this. So, ooh. The front plate, let's spin it over, let's quickly see. So that bolted onto there, that was kind of like that. These bolts on here, my fingers pointing to it, they were done up really tight. So this bearing sits inside there. This cog here turns this here, as you can see. So when the drive shafts turn in, that spins this, that's what then turns the back wheel. So this bearing here is sat in there, supports that. And then I've knocked this whole thing out of this casing, and this is what has gone wrong. That is supposed to be a bearing all the way around. All these bearings are supposed to be evenly spaced. That, I mean, look, that's, I mean, wow, I'm surprised. Wow, I mean, that is why it was so noisy for so long. I mean, I don't know how far off we're of a catastrophic fail when this went, but I mean, that's impressive. That is very bad. Okay, so we've got the bearing puller on now. Just gonna get that on and get the impact gun on there and just whip that one off. There's a washer behind that, and just a quick check. Yep, that needs replacing. Now with another bearing puller on the other side, this is pulling the bearing off. This is the one that failed on the way back from Spain. I thought this was going to be quite tricky to get off, but it actually came off quite easily. Now I've got the heat gun on the housing, trying to warm that up to try and make it a bit easier to pull this inner run for the bearing to sit on. Trying to get that out, that was quite tricky. And then next we're pulling out the bearings, the pivot bearings on the final drive. Actually came out quite easily with a bit of brute force. Next we're on to the cleanup. Took a bit of time getting everything nice and clean, but eventually got it all nice and clean. And next we have all the parts lined up there, ready to go, ready for reassembly. So next one with reassembly. The crown wheel there, that had been in the freezer overnight to get it as cold as we can to get it to retract in size, and the bearings there, they'd been in the oven to get them warm, so make it easier for reassembly. Finally there, going in are the new pivot bearings. These are a good upgrade, they are. No longer a bearing rather than a bushing, so loads better. Bit of an upgrade there. And here we go, putting the seal back on. And now, yes, there we go, putting it back together for the last time. Then it's time to go round, torque up all the nuts, mark them all as I'm going so I know which ones I've done. Ready to go back on the bike. Right, it's all back together. Look at that. Yes, look. Ooh, that turns. Everything's all nice and clean. The new bushes, obviously all the gears are replaced. Spin that over. That turns. We're all good to go. So next is to get that one on there. Now I've done this a few times now, so what I'm going to do is when we come to do this is I'm actually going to time myself and see how long it takes. I reckon I can have that one off and this one on within an hour. So here we go, let's do it. Okay, we've got old ones out, new ones ready to go in. There's going to be a bit of faffing about now, getting that one on, getting the greased up, doing all the correct torque settings and stuff, but let's see how far in we are. 8 minutes, nearly 9 minutes. So it's taken nearly 9 minutes to take the old one off. I said an hour, might even be an half-hour job, but let's crack on and see. I've still got to fill the new one up with oil, do some checks and stuff. Let's crack on, let's see how long it takes. we're bolted on. We've got a bit of a sweat on actually pushing the shaft on to the other shaft. The shaft onto the shaft. Makes no sense. But it's bolted up. All the torques are done up. Torque specs to the done up to the torque specs. We're 35 minutes in. I'm not going to do it in half an hour, obviously. Now I'm going to top the oil up. We're going to get the wheel back on, and we will be within the hour. So let's crack on. Minutes, everything's back together, so now it's time for the MOT. So I'm going to go and take it for the MOT, get it retested, and we're going to get it out on the road, make sure the new engine's good, and get back out on Old Yeller. Well, there we have it, the pass certificate. Took it back, went through with flying colours. It's great to be back out on the old bike. I can't believe we're back out. I've done a few miles now, not loads, but we're on 29 point, we're just under 30 miles. So when I first set out, it's very nerve-wracking because you got all the things going through your mind and what's that noise, and every little noise you hear gets you worried. But so far we've done 30 miles and it's been great. The engine feels very good, there's nothing wrong with that. It sounds sweet. I've done a bit of dual carriageway, I had a quick blast down the dual carriageway. The speeds were illegal, obviously not because it wouldn't have a speed, but it held a good constant speed at obviously the speed limit. You know, I wouldn't exceed the speed limit, but it was holding a good speed. Everything seems good, so it's time to get some miles on it. One small issue I have got though, which is really annoying, but I'm just going to show you. If you can see down there, unfortunately we've got a bit of an oil leak. Now it's coming from the top of the engine. I think it's an easy fix, to cross my fingers. I think it's the oil temperature sensor which sits in the top of the engine here. I've either not tightened it down quite right, or I didn't replace the washer on it. So hopefully that's a small job. That'll just be a question of taking the tank off to get to it, unplug it, take it out, we'll see what's going on, clean everything off. But apart from that, let's go out for a ride, show you guys what it's like. There we go, 5 straight up. I will be sticking the, I think she's running a little bit rich. I'm going to take the plugs out, just check the plugs, adjust accordingly, but here we go. Woohoo! Yeah! Hopefully this camera's anti-shake, I don't know. Anyway, look at it go. Better slow down a bit, that might have just peaked the speed limit, but wow, it's got the pep back. This engine is really nice, it's responsive. I think with a little tune on the air fuel mixture, it's going to give it a bit more pep. But when you first take it out, keeps going through your mind if you tightened all the nuts and bolts up, and if you check this, if you check that. But get a bit of confidence back in it now. She pulls. The old Boxer engine goes when you want it to. Oh baby. Which way? Let's go this way. A bit of popping and banging, which might be a bit of overfueling, which I think it is. I can adjust that out. I'm going to adjust the air fuel mixture, but no, I mean this has made this to actually get it back together and running again. We're MOT'd, we're all legal, we're back out. The bike's now on 96,435 miles. I would like to get this bike to 100,000 miles. I know what you're saying, well, it's not the same engine and blah blah blah. Well, I don't care. We're going to see what we can do. So we're just about to go out the village. We're going to go past the national speed limit signs any second. We're going to let her rip. Obviously only up to the speed limit, and this is quite a tight road down here, so there we go. Oh, baby's back. Old Yella's back in town. Woo! Oh, Yella's back. She might have had a heart transplant, but we're back. Woohoo! Oh, baby! Oh, it's so good having the bike back. So, what's next? Well, obviously we're going to have to go off on a bit of a trip. I've been dying to get out on the bike, get the camping gear on, and just clear off somewhere for the weekend. Pitch the tent, and just get out and ride some nice roads somewhere. So, that's what's going to be next. Oh, here we go again. Oh, woo! So, I'm going to switch the cameras off because I don't want to get myself in trouble. And until then, thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.